In 1957, a stage hypnotist brought an eager volunteer up in front of a live comedy audience. The subject was an off-duty police officer, carrying a concealed handgun. The hypnotist put the officer into a trance and assigned him a new identity. He told the officer he was a sheriff, that he couldn't leave the stage, and that the noisy crowd in front of him was an armed, violent mob. The hypnotist pushed the illusion further, yelling that someone in the audience was pulling out a gun. The off-duty officer immediately drew his service weapon and fired directly into the crowd. We rely on moral codes and professional training to guard our decisions, but when a few carefully chosen words can bypass a police officer's reality and make him attack a crowd, we have to look at the vulnerabilities in our own minds. This vulnerability surfaces in everyday life through the social scripts we follow. In 1979, a massive fire broke out during the day at a Woolworths department store in Manchester. The doors were wide open, and escape was entirely possible. Yet, as thick smoke rapidly filled the building, the customers seated inside the store's restaurant refused to move. Investigators found that the victims died waiting to pay their bill. In a restaurant, the unwritten rules dictate that you sit at your table until the financial transaction is finished. Because no authority figure explicitly authorized them to break that rule, they stayed seated while the room filled with smoke. Primal survival instincts were suppressed by the invisible social contract of dining. The fear of social injury, of walking out on a tab, was treated as a more immediate threat than the fire. Behavioral profilers refer to this sequence as the PCP matrix, a three-step cascade that governs how humans make decisions under influence. The first pillar is perception. This is where an architect of influence changes how you view a situation. By redefining what a situation means, they hijack the raw data entering your brain. Next is context. Context sets the boundaries for what behavior is permissible. You don't take your clothes off in an office building, but you do in a locker room. Alter the context and you change the rules of the room. Permission represents the final trigger. Once perception and context are shifted, you are given the psychological authorization to execute an action you would normally suppress. Mastering this cascade allows an architect to take a typical person and guide them toward a predetermined, often radical outcome. The PCP matrix now dominates our modern digital and political landscape. Opinion media frequently hijacks perception by framing routine political events as existential threats. When viewers are told exactly why they should be terrified, they stop seeing a rival and start seeing a danger that must be stopped. Algorithms and echo chambers then shift the context. If a political figure is labeled a threat to the nation daily, extreme reactions no longer feel radical. They become the only socially acceptable response to an emergency. This engineered outrage is the result of a sequence of micro-compliances designed to bypass our logical filters. Our brains are processing high-speed digital manipulation on prehistoric hardware that hasn't changed in 200,000 years. This hardware is designed to avoid social rejection and cognitive dissonance at all costs. We are biologically wired to value our standing in the group over an objective analysis of the facts. Our identities and political allegiances are often built on subtle pre-commitments we make just to feel secure in our environment. The subconscious scripts we run to feel safe are the same backdoors external architects use to influence our behavior. When our reality is shaped by environmental triggers and contextual hacks we don't even notice, we risk acting out a script written by someone else while believing the choice was our own. To understand the forces shaping your decisions, hit the subscribe button for the CEO brief and tell us in the comments, based on the PCP matrix, do you still believe your choices are truly your own?